Hello, everybody. We are live, and apologies that we were not here last week. Started a new job. But in any case, we are back with our players and a bunch of flowers. And first of all, I'm going to get the flowers to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Gigi Edgley's favourite role-playing game YouTuber. I just need to get that off my chest, you know. So, you know.
And now, can Becky please introduce herself?
Hi, I'm Gigi Edgley's favourite role-playing game YouTuber. sorry. Yes. Right. Let role playing game. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Right. So I need to sneeze. Could somebody else go first?
Okay.
Too late. I couldn't mute in time. I sniffed the flowers.
Shall we have Phil, please?
Good evening. Yes, I'm playing Kulinski, a small-time criminal, trying to go straight in small-town America, but it's all gone wrong for us. We're up against some weird stuff that we are trying to work our way through.
You haven't seen anything yet. On to Ronnie.
Hi, this is Ronnie. I'm playing Sheriff Dominic Hollander, who is trying to sort of keep good-humoured and sort of square-jawed, and is failing spectacularly on the second one, but he's doing his best to try and keep the morale up with the occasional bit of banter, but I think it's starting to get to him.
Mm-hmm. And on to our sneezer of worlds.
It's not my fault. I suffer hay fever, and those flowers are real, by the way. So hi, I'm playing Helen Munroe. I'm the local. I own the general store in this town, and yeah, it turns out there's some strange things going on around here, including eating of brains by some kind of extra-dimensional being or other from space or something in a cave. I don't get it myself. What I do know is this is America, and I'm not standing for it, and I has a gun.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, for anybody who wants to tell us what happened in the last session, I'm happy to give you a couple of luck points back. Extra.
You know, I'm not rightly sure. We went into a tunnel below a swimming pool, and there was this operations room there where a couple of janitors, I know their names, they were Mike Johnson and Frankie Mollop, they were brain sucked or something and had these boxes put on their head, including our dear Katie. Oh, poor girl. I feel so sorry for her. But she's been brain removed now, has this box on her head. Anyway, we found a lot of cultists down there by a big waterfall, and they summoned this being from looked like from space, but we were in a cavern. I can't rightly say it made much sense to me, other than it was truly terrifying.
Anybody want to add anything else?
I don't think so. I think that was pretty much it.
Okay. In that case, can you add another d6 luck, Helen?
Oh, why, certainly. Oh, I rolled an elder sign. How terrifying.
Because you might be wanting to spend quite a lot of luck in this, but we'll see.
I spent it last week, my dear.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to start. I almost said finish then. Start as we left off. So you'd come out of the spa complex, as you will. You saw some huge writing in the snow, although it is quite dark now. Just to remind you what it said the word Socotra, although initially you don't know what that is unless you're very much an expert in a very specific field. But as you come out further and you start making your way out to where your car is, you can see in the distance, and again it is dark, but you can see movement in the distance. You sort of see one thing to begin with, one thing moving, but then you realize actually there's multiple of these things moving towards you. You see as they come closer, they are wearing gowns very, very similar to those that you encountered down in the cave. And they are forming round you in a circle that's slowly getting smaller and smaller. They think that you think that as they get closer, they're going to surround you.
I've still got my cultist outfit on myself, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay. I'm keeping the hood up and keeping my head down, and I will stand behind these two.
Okay. As you pull up your cloak, you feel almost like the cloak tugging at you, and it's from a gust of wind. Your ring is, if you look at it, the I don't want to give it away what it is. The stone is swirling again more violently than it was before. There's definitely, you think, another storm coming, although you're not sure how quickly it's going to come. Can you make me a disguise roll?
Why, certainly. Oh, probably not, in fact. Oh, well, I don't need to see the other dice to know this is a failure.
Okay, do you want to spend any luck points?
There isn't a character sheet on this good earth that has enough luck points to fix that.
Okay, I'm just giving you the opportunity in case. Okay, so as you kind of pull it around you, another gust of wind takes you, and it actually comes off you almost completely. You have to kind of grab it in order for it to actually not blow away. The snow as well is sort of swirling up. The writing on the ground is starting to sort of disfigure and disappear. As they get closer, one of them actually holds up a hand, and you see this weird sort of blue tinge coming off his hand, or maybe it's a glove that he's wearing. But Dominic, you suddenly feel like you can't breathe properly. Can you make me a power roll?
I don't know. I'm having trouble breathing. And that was an extreme success.
Oh, okay. So just for a
Wow.
brief moment, you feel almost like you're drowning, like you've been underwater for ages. But then almost as quickly as it comes, it disappears. You can see suddenly the person who held out his hand, he flinches back.
At that point, I'm going to pull my gun.
Okay.
And, sort of point it in his direction.
Okay. They are coming closer. Weirdly, they don't seem to be struggling against the wind or the weather that's coming in quite thick and fast. But this
Kyle.
guy, he did definitely flinch back then.
Yes, Sheriff.
Kyle, get the car started now.
Where's the
We're
keys?
going to have to book.
I'll run around the other side of the car. Where's the keys? I'll jump in and start the car.
Yeah, so when you come out, the car is sort of a little bit down the hill, if you remember.
Yeah.
Can we get to it?
You can, although you fear that you might bump into a couple of these people. They are moving strangely quick. There's that sort of slow yet this quick effect you get in a lot of B movies because I decided. So, if you want, you can make me that's athletics rolls there. Okay. swim. That's quite funny, really. You can make me... just make me a regular strength roll.
Strength roll.
Yeah.
Which I failed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How much did you fail by?
Quite a bit. Let me see. 40.
40. Okay. Yep. So you kind of try and get around them because they are still, not too close to you. But again, it's almost like not like they're shifting, but maybe it's because it's dark or because of the weather. But when you see them, you think they're a certain distance, but you just can't quite judge it properly. And two of them actually come round you. Can you make me a dodge roll, please?
Dodge. Which is another fail.
Okay, well, fortunately for you, both of them failed as well. So they essentially they get out these sort of curved short swords, and they try and swing at you, but you also kind of stumble out of the way. You kind of slip in the snow a bit, and you do sort of get round them a bit, but you fear that you've got to keep on going.
Great roll. Stumbling out of the way. I'll raise my shotgun and shout, "Get back! Get back!" And I'll keep moving back towards the car if I can.
Okay. They don't seem remotely intimidated. I'm assuming you've still got your Bygone.
I do have a Bygone, yes. After that, yeah. I'm holding the shotgun one-handed. Then get back.
Oh, so you're holding the Bygone in your other hand?
Yes. Shotgun in the right, Bygone in the left.
Okay. Can you make me an intimidation roll?
Intimidation. Where's that to? That's a 16, which is actually a fail by 1. Can I use the luck on that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay, so that's a pass.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so for a moment they stop, and you can see beneath their hoods these eyes staring at you, but they're actually staring at the Bygone, and they realize what it is and that you've got it, and then one of them quickly turns to the other after a few seconds and says, "No, he's not one of us. He doesn't know how to use it." And they start.
Well, of course he does, I scream. We've had time to learn it. I'm one of you. I'm in the moral majority. I've followed Pastor Schreiber all my life.
Okay. Kyle and those two are technically out of earshot because it is windy, but the ones that are coming towards you do hear that.
Okay.
So if you like, you can make me a charm roll.
Sure. That is a hard success.
Okay. Okay. So at least a couple, you think, that are coming towards you are convinced completely, and you see them sort of, after they sort of raise their arms, they stand down. They start then shouting things to the others, as though to say, start back down. But there are a couple who they're not convinced by you. Maybe they think your accent is wrong or something. So, can we have initiative from y'all?
Dex roll, isn't it?
Hard success.
It's dexterity.
Yeah, that's a hard success from me.
Okay.
Never fail. Not doing well tonight.
Here I come to save the day.
Ooh. What's the dex on you? Okay. What are you calling out yet? Okay, so hard successes for both of you. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the two cultists that are by you, Kyle, you're just not shaking them off. Again, they move quite quickly, especially when they try and strike you with these short swords. Feel free to make me a dodge roll. God.
Dodge it was.
Okay.
Oh, that is a pass.
Okay. One of them completely overshoots you to the point where he actually kind of throws his own short sword and it goes off. The other one, however, does get you. So it cuts into your torso, and can you take 4 HP damage, please?
4 HP. Ow.
Quite a deep wound. It's very, very sharp, this blade.
Yeah, okay. I'll sort of drop to my knees as well with that one.
Okay. Right, so Helen and Dominic, you both got hard successes, so you can choose which one of you goes first.
Dominic.
You want to go first, Becky? I'm not too bothered.
Well, I'm just going to give up. There's no point fighting. We can sort this out later with Joshua.
Make me the charm roll.
That is a success.
Okay. They don't completely stop advancing, but they do seem a bit surprised that you would know his name. They're still very, very skeptical, though, of you. We've never seen you before.
Well, that's because I actually spend most of my Sundays having to work. So I see Pastor Schreiber on Tuesdays.
They look at each other, and one of them holds out their hand towards you. Can you make me a power roll?
A 6 luck left. Yes, I can.
Okay, brilliant.
Oh, can you do that on stat rolls? Is that allowed? It's just sanity, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how I've been doing it so far. Yeah, just sanity isn't. But power's fine. Yep. Right. Cool. I've lost it. Okay. Yeah. So, again, you feel like you can't breathe, like you're drowning in water. Almost like your lungs are filling up. Just briefly though, and then suddenly, it goes abruptly, and the one who was holding out his hand, he also kind of veers back a little bit to the point where his hood actually comes off. And Dominic, you recognize him as your associate from the police station, from which I can't remember his name. Pearson, Deputy Pearson. Oh, my head. Well, even if she's not with us, she definitely could be one of us.
Well, look, I haven't seen Pastor Schreiber since he took Ben to the Willoughby Hotel. That was the last time I saw him myself. But why don't we sort this out later? I'm not resisting.
Sir?
Pearson, I want to ask this question as calmly and as subtly as I can, given the circumstances. But what in the holy fuck are you doing here?
I was going to say, bear in mind, it's starting to get really, really windy now. There's a lot of noise going on. So if you're doing it calmly...
What the holy fuck you doing here?
I didn't think you would understand, sir, but there are many of us. There are many of us like this, and the world needs to to worship these people. They're the only solution to carry on.
Yeah. Here's an interesting factoid. About 40 years ago, this country went to war because someone else come up with a final solution. I ain't having it then. I ain't having it now.
You don't
Stand
understand.
down.
You don't understand. This isn't a war on Earth. This is a war up there. This is a war between them and the Brotherhood. And the more people on their side, the more followers they have, the better. These Brotherhood are dangerous. They will destroy everything.
Tell your boys to back off now.
You see him hold out his hands widely like this, and they do back off. The one who does have the short sword left, Kyle, he also stops. And you recognize him when he sort of lowers his sword. You recognize him as a regular from the store. And in fact, as they all stand down and they take off their hoods, they're all people you recognize from the town. They're all locals.
What the hell are you doing? Trying to push myself up on the Bygone.
When did our fucking town become Stepford?
Well, look, you have a choice. The town, well, the rest of the town who is oblivious to this, they think you killed Katie. They've convinced themselves.
Uh-huh.
They will not
slight query at this point. How much did you do to dissuade them of that notion? Or have you been happily staying silent?
I've told them, but you know, I'm just a deputy. These are strong, stubborn people. Once they get an idea in their heads, I tried.
I sort of kind of wave my hand at the general populace when he says that thing about, wants to get an idea in their head. I kind of look at him as if to say, and by example.
Well, yes. Things led from one thing to another, sir, and...
Yeah. Right. Paint me the picture between you being my deputy and two members of our community in robes looking like something from a D&D offshoot attacking that guy with fucking swords.
He stole that bident, for one thing, which is
No.
a sacred tool.
No.
It's blasphemous that he's taken it out of that place.
Excuse me. Let me follow you on this trail here, because you should know this from law school, from your training. Sheriff. Crime committed here. Evidence being taken back to station. No stealy collecting. You want to try that again from the top?
As you're kind of gesturing wildly like this, trying to get some sense back into him, the last of your sentence is completely drowned out by this huge, deafening rumbling. And as if from nowhere, this surge of wind kind of bursts through the snow and kind of like goes up almost like a small tornado, throws several of the cultists into the air, and throws the others off their feet almost. One of them kind of collects themselves and looks up into the sky. She points, and there are these... You think they're... Well, the only thing that you can really think they could be is potentially angels or something like that. They have these huge wings, although more like bats than feathers, and they're coming in this group.
Fuck. Right. Am I close enough to get a hold? Am I close enough to grab Pearson?
You're about 10 feet away, so you'd have to kind of at least.
Yeah, I will go
Lean
towards
on
him,
the corner.
grab him, and I'm moving him towards the building.
Okay. Meanwhile, Kyle is near the car at this point, so I'll say you've had time to sort of start it up.
Yeah, I'll start it up and drive it over to the others.
Helen, what are you doing at this point?
Well, I wanted to get into Bertie and get the hell out of here because I think they're coming for this ring, and that scares the hell out of me. And
Yeah.
I don't think they're angels. They got bat wings. There's diagrams of this in just about every biblical book ever.
Okay, so
Oh,
Jayson, you've frozen.
he's completely gone. Quite a lot's happening. I can hear through the wall that whatever he's saying right now is quite substantial.
He's beating and swearing at the computer.
He's now realised the intent. There.
Okay, what did you miss?
Pretty much everything.
Everything, right? Okay, so you've you get to the car, you hop in. Dominic, you're still on the slope, sort of up.
Yeah,
right?
I'm
So you're
pushing now
intending to take
towards.
him with you?
Yeah, I'm going to throw him in the back seat like I do any other suspect.
Okay. Yes. You can. But yeah, weather's gone basically shit. So can you make me a strength roll?
I can. I don't want to, but I can. It's a success.
Okay.
In fact, I want to spend 6 luck points.
Yeah.
Because that will change it to a hard success.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you belt it down there like you've had 6 cups of coffee, and he kind of staggers along with you. But as you sort of reach the car, suddenly you hear, and suddenly there is some kind of, you think like an arrow, although a rather weird, ornate-looking arrow sticking out of Pearson's chest, and he kind of collapses to the ground.
Motherfuckers!
And you can see that there's one of the bat-like humanoid creatures up in the clouds, and he obviously was the one who shot him.
Yeah, at this point, just the situation goes up. I'm just screaming at him. You know, how dare you fucking shoot my deputy before I've got a chance to fucking question him, you bastard!
Get in the car!
Just for a couple of seconds, as you're shouting this back at the creature, these very dead opal-like eyes just shine back at you. Can you make me a sanity check?
Okay, I've done really well on my rolls so far.
Okay. I'm assuming that you pass.
And then some.
All right, cool. Yeah, so you only take 1 sanity damage. It really does give you a chill, but it doesn't distract you or anything. So just take 1 sanity for that.
Okay.
So Pearson is still sort of breathing, just not very well.
Yeah.
He is still alive.
In the back of the car, he goes.
Okay. You can really feel the weather rolling in now, and the other 2 that are in the car, you feel the ground is really getting quite unstable. It's like almost like the snow is maybe starting to move a little bit. But for those of you who are sort of waiting for Dominic to get in the car, you suddenly feel more than see, actually, a presence of light just round the back outside.
Get in the car, we're leaving.
Yeah, literally as I've thrown Pearson in the back, I get in the front, I get in the passenger seat, I thought, right, floor it, and I grab the shotgun.
Do any of you look at this light? It's getting brighter.
I might look at it in a rearview mirror.
Strangely soothing. It's not like anything else that's going on. It feels different somehow.
I think it's all just.
Stage left.
Say that again, sorry, babe.
I'm exiting stage left.
Yeah.
Full throttle, if at all possible.
Okay. In that case, yeah, you start heading down the hill again, full throttle. It is very difficult though in this weather. Can you make me a drive roll?
Almost. Translates as apparently not.
Okay. Okay, so you do get away, but you're not maneuvering, unpredictably enough for these creatures who are now in pursuit of you, and you hear dong dong as two more of these arrows actually stick into the boot of the car.
It's a pickup.
Oh, sorry, the truck. You know what I mean? The vehicle. You can into the glass in the back. This light then comes in front of the car, and just briefly it blinds you. However, you adjust almost immediately to this light, even though it's absolutely bright white light like a sun, and you see Katie completely intact, although there's a strange sort of almost ghostly appearance to her. She puts her hands on the bonnet as if she's trying to hold it and kind of guide you in a slightly different direction.
I'll go with it.
Okay. So she sort of takes you off course a little bit. So rather than go down the road back where you came, she takes you sort of round, and you can see that there are a couple of paths, and this is an off-road path. But after about 15 seconds, you realize that this is next to the sort of the ski slopes part of the resort. And in particular, she's leading you towards one of the ski jumps.
Does she want me to accelerate?
She just kind of nods like this.
Is this how I die?
You can feel this sort of rumbling again behind you, much louder this time. The snow that's battering the car now all over. And then as you sort of you stare at this sort of going down the ski jump, which is really quite steep.
There's closing
this weird
my
sort
eyes.
of purpley light that's kind of opening up, and just like in the police station, you can see something just beyond.
I'm closing my eyes, hitting full throttle, and if I survive the landing, I'll open them again.
Okay, is anybody doing anything else? Are you going with what she's doing?
Well, we'll be following her down the hill as fast as we can. So I think we see her veer off the road.
Yeah, so you see all this happen. You see Katie lead the pickup truck away.
Yeah, we'll veer the same direction as well then.
And you see the ski jump. And then suddenly you can see Helen shoot down a slope that's definitely not meant for vehicles. And as you head down, it's almost like you're going quicker than time itself almost. Everything is becoming blurred around you. It's sort of very hot and cold all so quickly, noise and silence. And then from those of you at the top, you can see the car disappear through this strange sort of sheet of purple, this weird fluid purple.
What?
And she's gone.
The absolute fuck?
What's going on? So
The rumbling gets louder behind you.
Charging headlong after her down the ski slope.
Well, guess I'm not going to retire anytime soon. Fuck it! Move!
Oh, you've got good insurance on this car, Sheriff.
Okay.
Floor it.
Because you've linked it a little bit more, can you give me a drive roll?
A drive roll.
Do you have a driving?
That is a success.
Okay. Okay, so only one arrow gets in your car. So because it's a car into the boot. So you hear this dung, although it's practically insignificant as you're going down the slope. Your heart's practically in your mouth. It's thumping so quickly. Sweat pouring down your body as every sort of fiber of your body wants you to not do this and stop or get off or something, but you keep going. And you head through, just like Helen, you head through this weird fluid purple sheen. And when you get through to the other side, everything is very strangely still until you hit the ground with a thud, and you are sort of close-ish to Helen's car. Sorry, pickup truck. You feel like, a bit of a rough landing in this strange rocky environment, very open, very big.
We'll brake right away.
Yeah, that's fine. So you brake, you come to a stop. Helen, you're kind of coming to your senses as well. You can see there's a little bit of smoke coming out of your truck. And
well, should be a huge skid mark behind it as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Basically what you can all see as you come to, this rocky landscape seems to stretch for miles and miles in one direction as far as you can see, sort of in a panorama. Lots of sort of mountains in the distance, maybe even some swamps or something like that, you're not sure. But the other way around, there's a lot of, you're not sure if it's smoke or if it's just part of the atmosphere itself or the color of the sky, but it's all this strange sort of moving particles that look very much like smoke with almost like fire. And there are these two twin suns that are just setting behind this huge metropolis of monolithic towers across an absolutely vast lake. You're fairly close to the lake, maybe about half a mile away from it.
Don't remember seeing anything like this around here. Where are we?
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto.
What sort of color is the ground and the sky?
Well, the ground is kind of, it's rocky. It's got sort of mixtures of reds and browns in there. A very, very hard rock, unusually hard. The sky, as I said, there's sort of these weird sort of smoky grey colors, but then where the suns are, it's like the sky is on fire. There's all these reds, purples, oranges all around, and you can just sort of see the metropolis in the distance, but it's sort of, there's sort of mists. It's confusing to look at.
What the fuck?
It's like something out of Star Trek.
Have we boldly gone?
Well, who knows? But certainly as you're taking all this in, you hear the sound of a shriek of some kind behind you. Kind of sounds a bit like a vulture, but there's a weird sort of insect clicks in there as well. And you can see something flying around, just sort of circling the area a little bit. Maybe about the size of a human, although it looks nothing like one.
Has this purple sheet or whatever it is we come to, has that disappeared from? You can't see that.
Yeah, that has disappeared. It's as if it was never there.
I'm almost tempted to say, and I know that I'm prepared to have to maybe spend some luck for this. Given that this is a standard police car, does it have a pair of binoculars in it?
Yeah, go on. I'll give you the binoculars.
Okay. I was prepared to spend some luck or something for that, or make a luck roll or something to see if it was in. I'm going to take the binocs and
Okay. Presumably you're looking at the flying thing.
Yes.
Okay. So, first of all, you see the sort of, again, bat-like wings, but they're nothing like the ones that you saw on these humanoids before in the resort.
Yeah.
They're much more reptilian looking, whereas the other ones looked a bit more like sort of bat wings. So these ones, they have much sort of bigger fibers in them. Although when you look closely at the sort of the more fleshy parts of the wings, you can see that it's almost like they're rotting away, but at the same time that it's using them very much like it's alive. In terms of the rest of its body, it again, in terms of the sound it produced, it has features of a massive insect. It has these sort of feelers that come up almost like a grasshopper or a cockroach, something similar, but it also has scales. It has a vulture-like beak, and it has sort of two upper limbs, two lower limbs with big claws, little tiny beady eyes as it's sort of scouring the landscape.
Okay.
Well, Sheriff, does it look friendly?
I've had a good look at this thing, and I fucking hope it is. But at the moment, I'm really worried that it's doing the vulture thing. It's just waiting for us to die so it can feast. I think it's looking at circling round us as if it's we're the latest buffet.
No, perhaps we better move then.
And as you say that, you can actually, as again, you're sort of starting to see more now that you're adjusting to this weird light. There are a few sort of natural pillars of rock every so often just dotted around, and you can see silhouettes of more of these creatures just perched on, again, as if they're waiting very sort of patiently for you to start weakening or getting tired, etc., etc.
I'm gonna switch on the police radio that's still in the van.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh.
Make me a listen roll.
Okay. Well, that's a pass.
Okay. You're adjusting, and there's quite a lot of static, but at the same time, there's sort of a strange set of notes you think to start with, but then you realize it's just tuning in to a person talking, although nothing like a radio should. It's very odd. But eventually you get the sound of a male voice saying, "Are you here?"
Why, yes, I am.
Then take cover by the lake, quickly.
Okay.
I will come and meet you.
I jam the car into drive, and again, no acceleration here. It's just maximum speed.
Okay.
Follow the speeding Bessie.
Where's she going? Right, back in the car. Will the car make it across the rocky ground? Obviously, Helen's got more.
It's more a sort of it's not quite your sort of city patrol car. This is your country patrol car. Is a bit more Jeep-like.
Okay.
So.
Okay, yeah, I did sort of deduce it was
yes.
like Jeep, so yeah, makes sense. It is a bit more difficult. You can't really floor your way across it because it is quite craggy, but you do keep on following her. You can see that a couple of these weird creatures, they have kind of come up off their little perches and they are starting to circle around. But again, they're not really coming down on you. Maybe they're not so interested because you're in a car. You're not quite sure, but in any case, they are following you. But you reach the lake, Helen, first of all, and I mean, do you get out? Do you wait for something? What do you do?
No, I screeched to a halt again, put the car in park, engine is still running, and I very shakily pick up the radio again. Now I'm at the lake. Is this the afterlife?
They don't answer, but they do say, over here, to the right. And you see somebody, a human, waving something. You're not sure what, but it's maybe a ball or an egg or something, or shaped like an egg, and it's glowing this yellow, so it's very easy to see, almost like a light. And he's waving it at you.
Okay, then I head off with a spin to the right that kicks up dust and stuff and over dramatically clips the water's edge for a little bit of spray and drive up.
Oh, right. Okay. Maybe a drive roll.
I was only doing it for dramatic effect. I'm okay. That's a terrible failure. I really was just trying to paint a picture, but okay.
Yeah, you paint the picture. As your wheel kind of scuppers the water, it does not go through it as it should. It's as if it kind of sticks completely, as if it's been cemented in, and suddenly it kind of, that part of the car or vehicle sort of stops and jerks you.
Oh, so the whole kind of vehicle, presumably the rest of it's got momentum, so what, does the car buckle?
It does, yeah. So the back of it kind of teeters that way as the front left wheel goes into the water.
Okay, I hit reverse and try to drive out.
Okay. As you do this, you're kind of feeling a bit of a pull, but then something on the radio comes through, and he says to you, "Leave it.
Okay.
It's not important."
I eject the Lone Justice cassette tape from the radio player, stuff it in my top, get out the car, and I'll head to the police car that's presumably following.
So the police car does get to you.
As we see Helen sort of veer right, I'll make the turn and follow her as well, because obviously we're a bit behind.
Yeah, so you see the person waving you down, but then you realize actually this part is tricky anyway by car. It looks like he's sort of disappearing off into a small cave system, so you would have to follow him on foot anyway.
Yeah, so we're going to get out. I suppose we're going to drag out Pearson.
Yep.
And between us, I suppose we'll stumble across. I'll be using the Bygone as a crutch to keep moving.
Yeah. Okay. And he disappears inside, so you don't quite see him. And in fact, he gets through the cave quite quick, but he does sort of. It's weird. It's almost like he's guiding you with this light. And then after a while of going through these rather disorienting cave systems, and also it feels very warm in here, actually, almost like it's very stuffy. But suddenly you get into sort of a larger cave. It kind of opens up a bit, and there's light in here, artificial light, actually. And he's sort of wrapped up in some kind of old tattered blanket, which he removes from his face, and you see it is Ben. And I think we should take a break at that point.
Well, that ruined my guess of it's Ben, isn't it?
Well, I did see you nodding, but I mean, who else are you going to find in this dreadful place?
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
back in 5.
See you soon, guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching GG, see you soon, gals.
And I will say hello to Stephen. I just briefly checked the YouTube page, so I know Stephen's watching. Hi, Stephen. Hope you're enjoying the show. We're in so much trouble. Yeah. What's the old phrase? This shit just got real. Oh yeah. But hope you're enjoying this. It's going to be a good one.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Yes, all I could think about when Becky was about to go down that ski slope, and all I could think about was the Ski Sunday theme tune.
Yeah, I saw that. Ski Sunday. I've seen that for a while.
Memorable theme tune, though.
Yes, it is actually. A bit like the Fleetwood Mac Grand Prix theme.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Yeah, I was just saying it, Phil. I said that the minute you mentioned the ski jump thing, all I could get in my head was the theme from Ski Sunday.
I've been waiting to do that for a while.
And I was in this meeting today and the topic of skiing came up. So why is my day like... And I was thinking then, now that had a really memorable theme tune, didn't it? How did it
Oh,
go?
God, yeah.
And yeah, it's just very strange how these things sort of all happen at once.
What a crazy random happenstance.
They asked me
Dr.
if
Hogg.
I've ever skied, to which I replied, can you put an engine on skis?
Oh, you can?
And the Ski Sunday theme kind of reminds me of something that it's very Rondo Veneziano. Sort of that easy listening classical, but with modern instruments thrown in.
Wait, what?
The Ski Sunday theme, it reminds me of Rondo Veneziano.
Ski Sunday, Rondo Veneziano.
Yes, Rondo Veneziano is a contemporary orchestra, a contemporary chamber orchestra.
Oh.
Most of the music's written by my favourite composer, Jan Reverberry.
You mean Rondo Veneziano?
Yes.
That's why I didn't know what you meant.
Rondo Veneziano.
Veneziano, it's Italian. Venezia. Yes, anyway.
I'm not Italian.
I'm not either. Open the window.
Had my fair run-ins with Italians earlier this week.
yeah.
Okay.
You've been upset with the Italians.
We had some weird-ass Italian trolls, just trollers with insults, which were actually terrible insults.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And they were really, really weird. And
What was
Yeah.
like pig.
God pig. got something god pig. And yeah, the last one was always use a condom. It's like, what are you saying here?
It was a strange, seeing those, because they all happened right near the end of the broadcast. It was almost as if they'd been watching. It's like, right, we'll get our insult in now before the end of stream. And they didn't actually think their insult through. I think, if you're going to insult someone, at least make it memorable. An interesting insult. Don't make it memorable because it was shit.
I think it was just a young person that wanted to say some edgy things, to be honest, because they weren't really insulting.
They weren't. It's just
always use a condom. It sounded like something a child would say to, "Oh, I got away with saying condom on a live broadcast."
Just random shit, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just it was trying to be provocative and hilariously failing, or more importantly, typing them out in the hope that you would say them on air. And then, not quite realizing that you were broadcasting in English and therefore probably would not post their Italian worded comments. Just, little things.
Well, it did come up on screen, but yeah.
Also, hello, Steve.
Yeah.
Hello.
Our dedicated viewer.
Yeah.
He must dream of a bygone age pretty badly.
Dedicated. I have been in fact, one of the first Call of Cthulhu games I played. Stephen was one of the other players as well. That was some fuck. Oh, geez, that's got to be like 25 years ago now.
Well, that makes me feel really young.
Yeah, not so much.
When I were just a strapping young lad in my early 20s.
There's a band called Strapping Young Lad. But anyway, I very much deviate from the deviations in the campaign that you are experiencing. So, once your initial surprise disappears, you can see that in this section of the cave, Ben appears to have been here for some time. You can see that there is another blanket in the corner that you think might be used as a bed. It's sort of on the floor, laid out. He's got various other components of some kind that he's gathered from places, you think. And they're all strewn around. Apart from that, not really much. There is some sort of meat, you think, that he is saving for later. So, I didn't expect you to actually come here.
This is Socotra, right?
No. Socotra is an island in the Indian Ocean.
Oh.
There's really interesting trees, like really weirdly shaped trees. But no, I have no idea where this is. But I mean, I should probably explain why I'm here, and I'll try and work out why you're here as well.
No, that's just because of Katie. If you could just start with Antarctica, Niagara, that heathen word I cannot say, Order and Socotra, what are these words? I mean,
hold on, slow down. Let me write them down. And he sort of gets a bit of rock and starts writing them. Okay, so Antarctica, that's obviously a big ice sheet.
Yes, that's the first letter you sent to Katie.
Oh, so that's what was written on the letter.
Wait, you didn't write them?
No. Well, I'm assuming that. Well, I've been using this to try and communicate with anybody, to try and seek help. I would sort of home in on somebody in particular. I thought I might as well start local, see if I can try and find Katie, but I couldn't find her, so I picked on a local postman, told him to write a note and put it through the door of the police station because I thought someone would definitely pick it up there, but I had no idea what they wrote. I never saw that.
Antarctica, Niagara.
Okay, yeah, waterfall, yeah.
You'll have to ask Kyle about the next one.
It was somewhere in. We looked it up. Iceland, wasn't it? Very strange word.
He asks you to spell it out, and I'm assuming that you do.
Okay. Can't remember what it is, to be honest. But
I put it in the chat because I keep notes.
It's der Datengungfer.
Yes. It's easy for you to say.
Listen, I practiced that word so much to get it right, so I wouldn't annoy any Icelandics who would be watching this, because obviously there are many.
Yes.
He says, "Okay, well that's definitely Icelandic.
Then
Maybe
water, and then
maybe
Sakatra.
okay, hold on. I'm thinking. I think it's either a lake or a spring or something. And yes, it is Icelandic. Order. I don't know what it is, but I know it's sort of. Hold on. Let me try and get it on a. I need like a map. I haven't got a map anywhere. I need to think where these things are. So, Order sounds like it's somewhere near Kazakhstan, possibly.
Right, but why these places? I mean, these messages came from you, right?
Well, like I said, they sort of did. This thing, basically, when I was kidnapped by the moral majority from the asylum, from the hospital, before I escaped, I managed to nick this off them. They used it to look for things. They would look at these strange, almost devil creatures with wings and their whereabouts, and then they would go all far across the world. You can sort of see in your head these places. Then I ended up here. There was some kind of hole in the air, and it was pulling me in, like calling me in. And it was my only way to get away from these people so quickly. But I had this thing, and I thought, well, I could try and do it back to somewhere I knew, and it did sort of seem to work. But again, I had no control about what to write. I just wanted to convey a message of some kind to find me, to seek me out, or get help.
Now, the first letter, as I understand it, was sent long before you were released from the asylum.
So the first one wasn't caused by this. And he holds it up again, and you see now it's kind of like a large egg, almost like a glowing yellow egg. It's sort of a bit speckled. It's got some weird sort of little bit of scales on.
The first note that Katie received, she'd had a little while, I'm sure that's what she said, and that one just said Antarctica.
Yeah, pretty sure that's what she said.
Maybe there's no link at all then. Then, as I said, I didn't send any messages with those words on, as far as I know. But if there was somebody or something that sent that to her before, and it was definitely not me.
It was just a typed letter from the asylum.
Well, are you sure it was from the asylum?
That's what Katie told us.
She seemed pretty sure it's from you.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Well, not to be facetious, but I would at least open up with a hello, or how are you today?
And did you give her an engagement ring that swirled a little bit like this one?
Yes, I did. How did you get that?
Well, this isn't the same one.
Well, no,
appears to be-
it's a little different. The stone is a different shape on it.
Where did you get yours from?
Well, I found it when I was on one of my expeditions. I don't know how much Katie told you about that, but I did a lot of hiking to unknown areas, discovering nature, especially interesting places like Socotra. I never went to it myself, but I've read a lot about it. But no, this was somewhere in South America, actually, where I found it. It just seemed like it had been dropped by somebody, or maybe somebody just lost it. I thought that someone else had been down here before, down where we went, near the Angel Falls, actually. So I thought, well, if I can get it cleaned up.
Always seems to be water.
Yeah, we seem to have a couple of islands and involved, a couple of waterfalls. These places, they're always
what the places you were just telling me now. Well, I suppose they do.
Antarctica and Niagara and no Angel Falls.
That Icelandic one is a hot steaming water. Niagara is flowing water. Antarctica is frozen water.
Okay.
Now, these rings, I haven't had a chance to say to the others yet, but one of those Brotherhood demons spoke to me a few times. They really want these rings.
Well, they seem to be after this toasting fork as well.
Hold on.
Well, that's
what's
the
the
toasting.
Brotherhood? What's that?
They're like a demon-like creature.
What,
The moral
with wings?
majority are at war with them. Yes, with wings.
Well, they're the things they were looking at in this. Sometimes, anyway, not all the time, but I did see them a couple of times. No wonder they were so interested in them.
There seems to be some kind of war between the moral majority and this Brotherhood.
God.
Can I ask, Ben, why were the pastors coming to you in the asylum?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is maybe they knew that I had the ring. If you say that these things are at war with each other.
Yes.
Or maybe they wanted me to join them. I don't know. Or sacrifice me, whatever it is they do.
We did try to follow your trail. We lost it at the Willoughby Hostel. Did you get that far with the pastors?
Well, I'm not quite sure.
What do you remember last?
I'm just trying to think, because they certainly when we left, they gave me this serum, so everything was a bit fuzzy.
So you remember the asylum?
Yes, I do, and I remember being wheeled out. Someone signed a book at reception. Everything seemed fine.
Do you remember the halfway house?
The halfway house.
The Willoughby Hostel, it was called, Sheriff.
Well, I remember us stopping somewhere, maybe for a night or two, and yeah, it was like a hostel, but I kept sort of drifting in and out of consciousness. But
Did they
then
keep you drugged all that time, do you think? Is it that sort of?
I don't know. Or it might have just been strong.
One other question. In the drawer of a desk in your room in the asylum, you carved a map of well, it had the Ross Ice Shelf, the Ron Ice Shelf, Matrix Station, Paradise Harbor, with an X marked between them, and you had some expedition notes of the Ross Ice Shelf. Now, this all ties into Antarctica. That was the first place name mentioned. I
Have you
don't
been?
suppose you could explain more about that, could you?
Well, if it was me, I don't remember doing that, but I suppose. Well, I didn't go to Antarctica, but one of my great grandfathers did.
Ah,
I was told that he never came back. I never met him.
Do you know what his name was?
No, I can't.
General description?
Well,
Do you know what side of the family he was on? Perhaps he shares your same last name.
maybe. I think he was on my mother's side.
Oh gosh, that's a shame.
What do you mean?
Do you know your mother's maiden name? Was it the grandfather or great grandfather?
Great grandfather.
But what was your mother's maiden name?
It was Jones. Nothing particularly special.
Now, I wonder if we might be able to find it in the expedition notes. Do you still have them, Kyle?
it might be in the car.
I believe it was you who took them from the room.
Yeah.
Or was it the sheriff?
I'm not sure what we've got and what we don't. We've been messing about and jumping about from place to place and getting into all sorts of scrapes. So I'm not sure what's still in the car.
Well,
I'll be
this might
honest.
break the fourth wall. Can we ask our audience member, see if he remembers?
I'm trying to rack my brain as well, actually.
I think
I
it was
think-
unspecified unless it went into an evidence bag.
I think it was Kyle who took them.
That was quite a while ago, though, wasn't it? I don't know if I'll be carrying them around still.
No,
No, in game terms, it was we went straight from we went to the library and then we went sort of straight from there to the pastor to the mountainside.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, we've barely-
Rather
we've-
than you would
Actually
be.
been asleep.
No. So yeah, they would in theory be in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and have it. All right, Kyle, go and get him.
I'll hobble out using my crutch, the car.
Okay. As you come out, you kind of have to squint a little bit. The suns have still not set, which is strange because they implied from when you last saw them that they would have done by now, but they're just hanging in the air, like, I don't know, two kind of suspending balls, like baubles or what have you.
Yeah.
But as you come out over the ridge and you get back onto the flats, you hear the sound of more screeching and clicking.
All
And
right.
a shadow kind of moves over you.
Okay, so yeah, I'll stay back in the cave. I won't actually go outside until I can. If I think they're gone, I'll try and make it to the car. But
You think that maybe someone faster could do it,
oh, okay,
but they
I'll
are
hobble back
just sort of
all the way
waiting.
back to the cave. I can't get there. I'm going to be too slow crossing the gap.
Give me the keys.
And I throw you the keys.
All right. Here's the thing.
I'll give
If
you
I'm
cover.
not right, listen to me very carefully. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, keep waiting. Right, I'm going to head to the car.
Okay, so again, as you come out, you see a few of them now starting to get off their perches and swoop around. They don't sort of cry out this time. They take a look at you, though, and they get quite interested in you. So, can you make me a strength roll?
I can. I don't want to because my luck is going to...
We go through this, Ronnie. That's just how I'll word it.
I am going to spend 8 points of luck to turn that success into a hard success.
Oh, okay. Let me just quickly find something.
I just want to... I mean, it was a success, but it was close enough to a hard that I just want to nip it over, tip it over the line. Quite frankly.
I have totally read this page. Hard success. Okay. So just by the skin of your teeth, you avoid one of them diving at you, and they are obviously good at this and have done it many times.
Yeah.
You kind of almost roll out of the way. You kind of have to get on all fours as you dive out. And you scuff your leg as you do this on the hard rock. You clamber up to get to the car.
Right, get in the car.
Okay. Another one comes at you. You can make me a dodge roll if you want.
I certainly will. Or at least I'm going to attempt a dodge roll. That's a hard success. In fact, you know what? I'm going to spend a point of luck to make it an extreme.
Lovely. Okay. So you almost kind of half expect another one to follow it. So as you open up the car door and it comes towards you, you actually have time to slam the door into it, to which it kind of crumples up on the glass and it sort of breaks the glass a little bit, and it kind of goes back a bit. You can see this thing is huge. It's about 6 feet tall, this thing, although at the minute it's on its back. It's sort of writhing a bit. Its wings kind of tangled up a little bit. It's sort of doing this with its vulture beak and trying to get at you with something.
You better hope I don't have any fucking rolled up newspaper in here, you bastard.
Well, they look a little bit tougher than that, to be fair. Yeah, so I'll allow you to get the papers in the car.
Okay.
Comes at you again. It must be a bit dazed because it misses you again, rather comically.
Am I able to drive this car closer to the cave entrance?
You'll need to make me a drive roll for that.
I knew there was a flaw in that plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, definite flaw in that plan.
Okay, so quite similar to what happened to Helen, you get way too close to the water, in fact, more so than her. You get your front left wheel and the back left wheel stuck in this water, but it's almost like a tar that's pulling, and then it kind of solidifies and cements around it. If you sort of put on the accelerator, it's just jutting. The wheels aren't moving at all. If you keep doing it, you feel like it'll overheat everything.
Oh, motherfucker. Right.
There's this sort of wing that kind of appears in front of you and in the windscreen. As you can see, this thing is trying to kind of get round and maybe clamber through the windscreen at you.
Right. I'm going to switch on the windscreen wipers.
Okay. Okay, I'll see if it... Wow, okay.
Might trap its wing.
I'm rolling these things so badly. Yeah, it's completely shocked by that. And it kind of does that. It kind of hits it in the chest. It's still a big thing, and a windscreen wiper isn't going to swat it out of the way completely, but it kind of sends it flying again a little bit. Feel free to have an advantage for the next roll. That was hilarious.
See? American made.
However, the car is pretty much not going anywhere. You do have a little bit of time to get out and get free of
Yeah,
the
I'm
car if
making
you
a
want to leg
run
it.
for it now.
Yep. Okay, so you don't need to roll for this, but basically the others try and swoop in. The other one clambers up to its feet, takes flight, and they very much now hunger for you. But you get through into the cave, and something weirdly stops them. It's a little small for them, but they could still get through it if they wanted to. But there is something that they don't like about this place, and they shy away. They kind of fold over their wings over them, and they back away, and then eventually lose interest.
Right. I had get back to the rest of them.
Indeed. And you would have heard a certain amount of drama outside, and eventually you see Dominic clamber back in with a few scuffs and cuts.
You made it.
Nobody here expected that. No, I'm joking, Sheriff. You got the expedition notes, I trust.
I got everything I could take out of the car in one sitting. The car, unfortunately, is currently having a bath.
Oh dear. So, let's go through these notes, see if there's anything in here about a Jones.
Yep.
Okay. So you go through them. There's quite a lot of them. But yeah, you do eventually, towards the end, find what appears to be almost the last will and testimony of somebody called Jones. His first name is Bertie. And it's not like an actual will or anything like that, but it's as if he's admitted defeat. It describes about how they are stuck in a cave. The storm outside is too terrible. They have almost run out of food, and they are completely off course from where they were supposed to be.
Where were they supposed to be?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the name of the place, but basically, you know, the X.
Okay,
They were trying to get there.
okay, but where did they end up?
It doesn't say, because again, they've gone off course. If you flip back through, it does describe a couple of distinguishing characteristics. So there's a large ice shelf that they come across, and there's also sort of a bit of the ice, if you will, that's very broken up in places. But apart from that, it seemed like they got very, very lost, unfortunately.
Well, this Howard Hazard is probably your great-grandfather here, Ben.
Yeah, I guess so.
Come across some bad storms ourselves of late.
Well, it's odd because whenever I asked my family about him, they would never talk about him. They wouldn't even say his name. As if he was disliked by them.
What was this expedition trying to do?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. That was one of the first questions I asked them when I was very young.
What's in the notes?
So you have a look through. You find some rather cryptic-looking passages talking about closing something, sealing something up. It mentions this word keeps cropping up called Carcosa. You think maybe it's a place in Spain or somewhere like that?
Spelling that.
Carcosa.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. So they were trying to close a Carcosa?
No, they talk about Carcosa as if it's a separate place, but it said about trying to close up a passage to it.
Well, Well, this here could be Spain as far as I'm concerned, so I reckon that could be where we are. I hear it's hot. 2 suns would explain it.
Ma'am, I've never been to Spain before, but this is definitely not Spain.
Does it have rain?
What, Spain or here? Because it never rains here.
I remember a rhyme, something about raining in Spain.
Yeah, that falls mainly on the plain.
Right.
Well, it's a plane.
Emphasis on mainly. There's only a few places on Earth where it never rains.
So
I-
one of those?
Maybe.
Now, I'm just not getting this. So, your great-grandfather did an expedition to Antarctica to close something, a passage to Carcosa. But how does that involve you? Why were the moral majority interested in you? Why was it you who found this ring? Well,
I
the other
think-
ring, not this one.
I think somehow if we get back to our homes, then I need to do some digging on my great grandfather.
Indeed. So we
Well, I
need to
suppose
know
it's
how to get out of here, and
too
after
late.
that I have some bad news for you.
Well, you might as well tell me now. I've been thinking about it for ages how to get out. I've been trying certain ways with this thing. Although,
had-
having said that, your ring, that could maybe help.
You think so?
Well, maybe, yes. It kind of reminds me of the lake. It has the same sort of sheen to it.
Well, look, speaking of the lake,
What lake?
I believe the sheriff has some bad news for you.
Well, what?
And suddenly I've drawn a blank. With regards, is that with regards to Katie?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, they were engaged to be married. There's a next of kin thing here.
Yes. We must inform you that Katie's body was recovered from the lake.
By the
No.
moral majority who did something.
At that, you see him like slam his hand down, and a couple of things he's collected rattle. Those fuckheads. They found her. How?
We are treating the death as suspicious.
No
Well-
shit. It's suspicious. Why did they do this to me? It's so unfair. Why have they been going after me and after her? Why?
There's one more thing, though. We were guided here by some kind of... Well, if I hadn't seen the things I'd seen in the last few days, I would say a ghost or a spirit. But I'm not completely convinced that Katie's dead. I mean,
But you just told me that the body was found.
by all conventional understanding and with our perception of the world, why that is certainly true. I've seen it myself, but as we were leaving that scene, as it were, and we should explain these winged creatures, and they look like demons to me, who I believe were the Brotherhood, and we were surrounded by cultists of the moral majority. We were trying to escape, and I knew the Brotherhood were after this here ring, and, well, I had this kind of vision of Katie, and she guided me here. I don't know how else to put it other than it was a kind of ghostly visage of her. I think she still exists in some form or another.
But how? There's
I
no
don't
such
pretend to
thing.
have the answers to much of what's happened in the last few weeks.
What's the point?
The
There is no
point is,
point.
she's still kind of out there somewhere, somehow.
Well, if she
Might
did
just-
lead you here, then where is she now?
I don't know, but she's still working to try and save us all. And if it's important to her, then it should be important to us.
None of this is important anymore, and he tosses the egg away.
No, you don't understand, Ben. It was her. Her spirit or something brought us to you. And I'm sure it wasn't for you to give up hope. She definitely still exists in some form. What we need to do...
He's got his head in his hands now, and he's just flat out crying.
What we need to do is find her in this mess. If I hadn't seen her, I wouldn't say this. I would think it would be presumptuous of the deceased, but I am sure that is why Katie sent us here.
He eventually stutters a bit and says, if you want to try finding her with that, go ahead. And he gestures at the egg.
Okay. I'm going to put the ring on.
Okay.
And I'll pick up the egg.
Okay. Can you make me a sanity roll?
Maybe? No.
So you see swirling in the ring get very, very intense as you pick the egg up. And then it kind of goes into the egg itself and starts swirling around. It's very, very cloudy. You see something in there. You don't know if it's Katie. It's too ambiguous, but then the voice starts again. And it almost roars at you with this deathly, hellish roar. And you take 4 points of sanity as you actually step back and you black out briefly.
I try and sort of
Yeah.
grab her as she sort of falls, just to try and, so she doesn't do the full face plant.
Yeah. As you grab her, the swirling stops.
Yeah, set her down. Helen, you okay?
You do
Oh.
come round after a few minutes. Your head hurts really badly.
Oh, that is not how that's supposed to work.
Okay. Right. No one else do that. Important safety information. Thank you for clarifying that. Are you okay? Headache notwithstanding. Did you see anything?
I heard the voice of the devil again.
What did it say?
Roar. Sounded like a mighty pissed off cat. poor Mr. Money'sworth. He's in the shop by himself.
Well, we're going to get back there. So,
Kitty won't feed itself. I mean, probably claw open the crisp packets. I always put the cat food high up so he doesn't reach him, but he's gonna get desperate, isn't he? Gosh. Oh, my head. Maybe if this ring is a way out, then one of you should try doing something with it or the egg, but I don't recommend putting them together till we know a bit more.
Yeah, I think our options of finding out more are severely limited here.
Well, I don't mind trying things again, but let's understand each thing first.
Amen to that.
Well, look. Maybe I'll do the egg because I've done it a few times, but I found that you've got to look for the thing first, and then once you found it, then you kind of get this sense of control, like you can command it. Or in this case, I suppose if we're looking for Katie, then I could speak to her. So maybe we should try that first, and then once we've done that, then we can work out what the ring does.
Give it a try.
Okay. And he kind of does a few shallowish breaths. He's still trembling a little bit from the news, but he gingerly goes over, picks up this egg thing. And he sits cross-legged on the ground, and he says this really strange few words. If you want, Dominic, you can make me an occult roll.
I certainly will. Hold on. Yeah, and I'll succeed maybe in the next roll.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely recognize it as the same language that was being uttered and chanted when Helen went into the cave system with these.
Right, but obviously I have no idea what it is because I've failed really badly there.
Oh, I see. Right, I see what you're saying.
No, I said I would succeed with my next roll, hopefully.
Oh, right.
No, I missed by a mile.
Yeah. Well, you still recognize it anyway. Like the phonetics are similar.
Yeah.
But you have no idea what he's saying. Eventually, the egg glows brighter, and then almost like dust kind of. Say if you blow dust and it sort of goes up like this, something comes out of the egg and goes into him, through his nostrils, into his mouth. And he clutches the egg, and you can see his eyes go completely bright. And he's in some kind of trance.
Did that happen to me?
No. Those of you who saw Helen, she basically started shaking and writhing, bit of foam coming out of her mouth.
Yeah, don't worry. It didn't get that far with you.
After about a minute of this egg kind of getting a bit brighter, dimming a little bit, you think maybe he's searching. He brings his head up a bit further as if he's looking up a bit, and then he starts speaking in Katie's voice. We found each other. I know now where he is. I will channel the ring to me.
Where exactly are we?
You are in Carcosa.
That's not a good thing.
what is Carcosa?
I told you we were in Spain.
The link between us, it will not last long.
Yes, we'd like to not be in Carcosa.
Someone wear the ring. Put it on.
I still got it on.
Okay. You hold it out towards the egg. And you see the swirling happen again, but in a different way. It's moving in a different direction. The colors are very different this time. They're almost like a red color, very bright red. And a beam then comes out of this crystal into the egg and then refracts out into another fluid film as it starts to form. But not purple this time. In fact, you can see a little bit of white in there, almost like the snow that you left behind.
Oh, we got to go through.
Yep.
I have a horrible feeling we're going to find your grandpappy. I'll step through.
Yeah.
We better
I'll get Kyle on sort of one shoulder.
Pearson. What about Pearson?
How is Pearson?
Pearson, well, good question, because I didn't realize that you'd actually brought him into the cave. He's not doing well at all. You think maybe he might only have a few minutes. He's lost a lot of blood. He's drifting in and out of consciousness.
We'll have to drag him through then.
It'll slow us down.
We've got to get him to hospital. He's dead if we leave him here.
I honestly didn't realise we had somebody wounded here, or I would have done first aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got wounded before we came through.
Yeah, but I completely forgot. I completely forgot that he was in the car and he didn't take him in. Oh well. I mean, if you want, we could roll first aid in retrospect.
Yeah, let's do that. That's a pass.
All right. In that case, he's not on the cusp of death. You've managed to get the majority of the arrow off and bandage him up, but he's still not great. His mobility is very limited.
Right, we'll drag him.
Go through his chest. Yeah, so he can sort of move his legs, but yeah, you would have to still drag him. Interestingly, with Ben, once you've gone through, or the majority of you have gone through, you can see him get up of his own accord with the egg and come through as well.
Okay, I was going to say I'll pull him through, but yeah.
Yeah.
Still in the trance.
That's all right.
When you get to the other side, you wake up almost as if you've been asleep for a few hours. You can feel it's much cooler than it was, very fresh. You're on a wooden floor in some kind of house, and you can see Ben is sitting there with the egg, and there's no more gleam anymore in his eyes. He's back to how he was.
Ben? Do you happen to know where we are?
She's not here. Where? No. Hopefully close. Hopefully close to Nellysford, but I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to get up. And I am going to look out the sort of nearest window, try and find some sort of landmark, road sign.
Yeah. If you want, you can make me a no roll, so an education roll. Because at the minute you're basically doing educated guess. You don't recognize anything specifically. But yeah, you look at the landmarks and see if you can try and work out where you are.
And that is a success.
Okay. So certainly in terms of landmarks, things like that, you think you're at least in America, potentially nearish to where you were. The roads look very similar. In fact, you do see a sign a little bit further down the road, just like a touristy sign. And this is where I get up my map very quickly because I forgot about this bit. You see a sign for Greenfield. Please drive carefully. And you recognize Greenfield, Dominic, as a place just up, well, not up the road per se, but about 20 miles away from Nellysford.
Okay. We're not too far from home. 20 miles?
Well,
The house you're in is a bit derelict. It's not been lived in actually for a couple of years. You can see a couple of for sale signs from different real estate agents. There's obviously something about it that people don't like the look of. It hasn't sold.
how on earth did we come through here? This is strange.
You reckon it's important to either Ben or
Katie, yeah, one of the two, because I was thinking we was going to end up where we started off, back on the mountain.
I'm going to head out of the building.
Yeah.
Go to, I guess, where a gate is, or opening to the road.
It's just a porch basically. So you head down. There's a little mailbox.
Yeah. Mostly when I get to the mailbox, I just want to turn around and get a good sort of view of the property.
Okay. Looks like a pretty normal US house. So that white wooden finish to it, raised porch, little bit worse for wear. A couple of bits that are rotting away, not being maintained in a while, obviously. There's a couple of bits missing, actually, just small bits missing from the roof. But nothing massive or significant. So nothing from a storm, for example, that seems to have affected it.
Okay.
Nothing about it, though, that looks out of the ordinary.
So, Ben, does this place mean anything to you?
No. No. Although, I suppose Greenfield is nearish to where Katie and I, we did go walking in the woods every so often, but I guess they were just pleasant memories. Maybe she thought of a memory that we shared.
Could have a quick search of the room?
Yeah, sure. So no furniture in here. It's all been removed. But you can see there's a couple of, bits of carpet that are darker where obviously something's been sitting for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that there's obviously been a couple of cabinets in here. You think you're in a dining room, potentially, or maybe a living room. One of those two on the ground floor.
For sale sign?
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Same realtor?
No, as I said, there are a couple of different realtors.
Must be a reason, as it's sold.
If I've got my notebook and pen, I'll just write down their names and numbers. They might be able to give us some history for the place. Something to do when I get back to the office.
I wonder why this place hasn't sold then.
Yeah.
Along the way, those ones.
Right,
they do
we missed half. We missed the first half of that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it did seem to sputter a little bit, the connection. If you look out, away from the house, you're on a long road, a long main road. There's a few more houses that go down a slope, you think, into the sort of the main part of Greenfield, although it's only a small place, a bit smaller than Nellysford, actually.
Right.
But the houses along the way, they look much more like they're being lived in. There are a couple of cars parked outside.
That's what we're wanting. Okay. I go back into the house. All right, guys. There are other houses just down the road. They do have transport within them, which means we're about to commandeer by way of a police emergency and commandeer a vehicle.
Well, it occurs to me we could maybe ask the owners if there's anything significant about this here house being on the market.
That's a very good idea.
Well, that's a good one. Let's go. Ben?
Do you want
Yeah.
to
Sheriff?
bring the car over? Because we've still got Pearson, who's injured, and myself.
Yeah, I'll go and get the car.
Do you want me to take a look there at your wound, see if I can't help you out a little there, Kyle?
If you would, that would be much appreciated.
By all means. Let's see if this place has got running water and see if we can't clean you up a little bit.
Yeah, feel free to roll first aid.
That is a pass.
Ooh,
Okay, yeah, there's definitely running water. You can roll me a D8, Phil.
6.
Lovely. You get 6 HP, although I believe you only lost 4, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Wow. 2 up where I started.
Maybe there's something as well you notice since you've been back in familiar territory, as it were, like a new refreshing feeling. Again, like you've slept really well. Nothing like how you felt when you went through the first time.
Ah,
Well, I was due asleep myself. I wonder if we've been out for long.
quite strange, though. You think we'd be absolutely shattered right now?
I think we've been lying on that there floor for quite a while.
Could be.
Yeah, you do feel a little stiff, to be fair. But then the hunger kicks in and you realize that you're actually starving.
Yeah, you're right. I think we've been here for quite a while.
Yeah.
The cat's
I'm on my way down to the nearest neighbor with cars.
Mm-hmm. Yep, okay, there's a nice Ford parked outside.
Remember to ask him about the house.
Yeah. Knock on the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And if they've got any tweenies,
You mean Twinkies?
yeah, tween.
Tweenies are UK. God damn it. Those kids.
It's a kids
Characters.
program.
I was thinking, what?
Eat some tweenies.
Like, hi, yes.
Some
We
tweezy.
get the Tweenies in the house.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought I could eat a whole child.
Double tweenie across the back of the head and eat it.
Yeah, so anyway, you hear it just a moment, and you see a middle-aged woman, a bit frumpy looking, come out. She's been cleaning, you think. And she says, "Oh, Sheriff, what can I do for you?"
You know, I have had the weirdest day. I can't go into too many details. Would it be possible to commandeer a vehicle? I promise you it will be returned.
What, you mean Frank's? And she looks out at the car parked outside.
I'm just happy to take. Yeah.
Look, frankly, you should keep it. He drinks all day long. It's not like he can use the damn thing anyway. You can see there's a scuff on the side there. He's tried to botch it all up when he crashed it. Take it off him for a while. That'll serve him right.
You know, I believe that's a good public service that I can do. Hey, we were just looking at that empty property just up the road.
Oh, that, yeah, it's been like that for years.
Any reason it hasn't sold? I mean, that looks a nice enough property in and of itself. Nice area.
Yes and no. We get a few people come to look at it, although it's getting less and less now, but they come from elsewhere, you know, Washington State, Pennsylvania, they don't seem to like being out here. They think it's a bit too quaint. And now that it's rotting away, there's more work to be done. People just
Any
aren't
history
interested.
with it? I know that if there's anything particularly bad, like bad plumbing or architectural issues, realtors are required to disclose.
Well, there is a rumor. There is a rumor that something took place in there. A
Oh?
murder, some people say. Other people say that there are bodies under the floor. But they would have found them by now. And there's no smells or anything. So I think it's just something that people say to scare people away, frankly.
Do you know the name of the family subject of this their rumor?
Well, as in the people who lived there previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, began with an H. Hellquist, I think.
Hellquist.
Hellquist, yes, that's it.
Nice, good American name.
Yeah. They were a little bit strange. We moved in shortly before they moved out, so we knew them for maybe 8 months. They did have a couple of strange habits, that's for sure.
Oh?
Well, you're gonna get a strange neighbor every so often, but in particular, the man of the house, he would come out onto his porch really early into the morning, maybe 3 o'clock or so, and he'd smoke for a while, and you're probably wondering why I know this, but he would then start playing the kazoo. And the first time that happened, it woke us both up, and we thought, what the hell is going on? Started the dogs barking as well, and he would just do that every so often, and we'd tell him not to, and he didn't give a damn.
Was he
Very
fully
odd.
dressed or in his PJs or?
He was in loungewear, I think. I mean, I didn't look at him very much. I would just turn over and try and cover my ears with my pillow, frankly.
So it was a
Eventually,
loud kazoo.
oh, yeah. Well, maybe there's something about the sound it made that carried. I don't know. Obviously, it gets quiet around here at night. We did ask a police man to intervene once, but they didn't really care. They shrugged it off.
Well, I would love nothing more than to spend the day jawing with you, ma'am. But if I could have the keys, I can do you that
Oh,
good
yes,
public service.
of course. Let me just quickly find them. Oh, why the hell's he put them now? And she goes off into sort of another bit of the house. You can hear a lot of noise as she's trying to get them out. And then you hear the sound of jingling. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Thank you kindly, ma'am. Just out of interest, we're having a day.
Yes,
Between you and me,
say.
I think we were given a little too much gin last night. What time is it? Do you have the clock there and the calendar date?
Hold on, you want the time or the date?
Oh,
Yeah.
let me be thorough. Let's give us both.
Well, obviously it's a Friday. That's what you mean. Time's about 2:15. She goes into the room. Yeah, 2:15, and she points at a clock on the mantelpiece.
Thank you kindly.
You can see there is actually a paper in that room.
Yeah, I was going to
on the
say
table.
that was next on my list.
Mhm.
Paper.
So you have a look at it, and it's about 3 weeks later than you previously thought.
Okay.
I'm a lot hungrier than I previously thought.
I suddenly feel like eating the paper.
Well, hey, if you want some food, there's a nice little diner down in town.
Of course there is. Yes. Thank you kindly, ma'am. Thank you kindly. You have been most helpful.
Hey, you're very welcome,
Absolutely.
Sheriff. And remember what I said, is at least a week. It will do him wonders.
I can guarantee you, I will. For you, ma'am, I will do that for you. That is a promise from me to you. Right. Again,
She
I
feels
get.
like really kind of almost mischievous about it. And then she sort of goes back to her cleaning, really quite happy with
Yeah.
herself. See you around there, Sheriff. Have a nice day.
And you do the same, ma'am. Thank you very much. I get in the car, start it up, head back to the house.
Mhm.
3 weeks? Mr. Moneyworth, I've got to get back to the shop right away.
Yeah, I've got a feeling Mr. Moneyworth is.
No, don't say it, Sheriff. He will have scratched open some food packets. He'll have got by, but I need to make sure he's okay.
I was about to say, I've seen that cat. Most intelligent looking bloody goddamn cat I've ever seen in my life. If any feline has ever learned how to use a tin opener, it'll be him.
With all due respect, Sheriff, either driver, get out of the driver's seat.
First stop, diner. I think we can. I think we could do with some food.
To the house, to the shop.
There'll be food at the shop.
Go on then.
So which way are you going? Back to
Nettersford.
Yep.
Okay. So are you driving then, Helen?
I believe the sheriff's still in the driver's seat.
Oh, sheriff's still driving. Okay. So you get in the car, you turn it around, and you start heading back. But no sooner do you round the next corner that you have to slam all of your brakes on as you very nearly run into a cat.
Oh, my word.
And the cat eventually comes round. He's thinner than he was last time you saw him, Helen, but...
Mr. Moneyworth? Out here? Mr. Moneyworth? Oh, what are you doing out here, little fella? I'll go and pick him up. And it is Mr. Moneyworth, right then?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Let's get him to the diner, quick.
Okay.
Oh, my kitty. What are you doing out here?
Diner. We're going to have food.
Yeah. And you certainly do.
And so does Mr. Moneyworth.
Yes, so says Mr. Moneyworth. So as you take some time, it's called the Mark Addy Diner. And as you take your time there, you have your fill of bacon, beans, eggs, whatever. I think that's a good time to bring the session to a close today.
Yes, I just want to say that I will not be paying for the meal. I will be placing it on police expenses. We are on the job. I will, of course, require a receipt.
Hope you're fine for everyone then.
But yeah, apart from that, yeah.
Hope you liked that.
Wow. 3 weeks.
What's my kitty doing up here after 3 weeks? That's a Cthulhu mystery in itself.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, this is getting...
Although there are cases of cats doing things of a similar nature.
Yeah.
There was that one that went right across country when their owners moved and couldn't find their cat and moving.
Yeah, yeah.
And the cat went about sort of 400 or 500 miles over 6 months.
Yeah, cats do weird shit like that.
How the hell did it even do that?
Yep. But yes,
Good, yeah.
so feel free to do a luck
yes.
test.
Ooh.
So roll a d100. If you exceed, you get to add d10's worth of luck back.
Almost certainly will. Oh,
Yes.
surprise, I did. With that little luck left, it was bound to happen.
See, my dice have been hateful to me now. I've been rolling pretty good all night. And now my dice have decided to be consistent.
Ah.
Oh, shit. What did
I rolled under my luck score.
And
I
awful rolling tonight.
Did I pass the driver? I failed that, but did I succeed earlier? I can't remember. Don't think I
Bastard
did.
bloody dice.
I thought you succeeded your first one.
Yes, I did, going down the track initially. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. I failed disguise.
You passed first aid twice.
Yes, you did
Oh,
pass
yes.
first aid.
Yep, quite right. Why do I always forget to do this with Cthulhu?
And did you pass listen?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with the radio.
Yes, you're right.
I don't think I actually did a skill roll the entire game.
That's like my first 5 sessions.
Yeah,
I was doing a lot of stat rolls.
I am rolling quite a few stat rolls, aren't I? But there are things that I want you to do, and there's not a skill for them.
Yeah.
There is no run or athletics in Cthulhu.
No.
Cthulhu would
No.
at least have run. I mean, it's the primary stat for any power gamer in Cthulhu, isn't it? To run away. You know, don't be the slowest person and all that.
Mm.
I think I only passed the 2.
There's things like jump and climb.
Yeah, it's got swimming, but traversing land, not a thing apparently.
Well, apart from like tracking or survival, yeah.
I suppose you could always write it as an extra.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, there are
But,
strange blanks on the character sheet. Actually, I don't quite follow that.
Yeah, I think there's a more sort of custom specialized roles.
Yeah.
Not roles, sorry, skills, but it's not the end of a chapter per se. In fact, you've really only just started one. So no, you can't improve your skills just yet, but you will one day. You will.
Okay.
So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that very much. I need the loo, but obviously I'm happy to stay on for a bit. But I will cut the broadcast. Thanks very much, Steve, for watching. Hope you enjoyed as well.
Hey, Steve. Hope you enjoyed that.
Well, thank you, Steve.
And we'll
Thank you
see
for
you all
joining
next
us
week.
in the chat. I was reading. You didn't say much. Do better.
Oh. Fair, we don't really look at it.
Maybe we should get it up on screen like we used to in the old days.
Maybe. But anyway, I'm going to cut the broadcast. I'm desperate for the loot.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, bye.